after that win. And just on the bigger picture, it's kind of sighs of relief all round, isn't it, first of all?
It is, because I think this week coming into it, there was 3 games against opposition who Liverpool would expect in normal circumstances to get 9 points out of 9. I think every game there was a feeling of maybe trepidation from Liverpool supporters, and maybe even, the coaching staff and players as well going into it, because confidence is really low. But I felt West Ham away was the toughest one. And in some ways, they've won that with ease. West Ham were really poor today, so that should bode well for the next week in terms of Liverpool going on to get those maximum points. And if they do, the picture looks completely different, and everyone will say, what was the problem? They're in the Champions League positions and a lot to fight for in the second half of the season.
So a clean sheet for them today, and that's been difficult to come by recently. Mo Salah was left on the bench. Florian Wirtz started, and even at half-time, after we'd watched the first half, you were saying it's his best game for Liverpool in the Premier League.
Without a doubt. And I'm just going to look at some of the 3 or 4 clips. And we highlighted this on Monday Night Football early in the season. Now, what is the position he likes to pick the ball up in? And that position is there. Now, it's not just between the lines. It's in the inside left position. That's, as I said, where he was at his absolute best playing for Bayer Leverkusen. And he's in that position. And what's interesting, you think the setup, you mentioned that there was no Mo Salah today. But Szoboszlai, you said, played on the right wing. But we know he likes to play in the inside right position as well. So he's in that position, and it's actually Joe Gomez providing the width on that right side. So that gets Szoboszlai in his best position and Florian Wirtz in his best position. But let's just look at Wirtz. Just keep an eye on him. And watch how often he's scanning. Look, one look over his shoulder. If you want to be a top player between the lines, scanning is massively important. 3 times he's looked over his shoulder now. Still hasn't received the ball. Again, as another little look. So 4 times we're there, and he now gets the ball in the position where he's at his absolute best for Bayer Leverkusen in the past and for Germany. Where is he now? So he's deeper now. Liverpool are defending, and we just pick him up here. Coming back, doing his defensive duties. But what he did brilliantly today, even in his own half, he was brilliant in terms of retaining possession. So a really clever ball, 1-2, and then he bursts forward. Gets ahead of the West Ham defender, and then we're back playing again. Now, where does he want to be? Again, he scans before you know it, and then he is here, between the lines. OK? So he's not on the left. This time he finds himself on the right, but he's in that position now. Again, looks over his shoulder. Then he's got a pass to pull off. We've just seen him with the left foot on one side. This time, very unlucky again. Great pass into Gakpo, just gets cut out. Now, he gets a little bit of luck here because he loses the ball, as he has done quite a few times in the Premier League. But because Liverpool regain it and win it back quickly, because the midfield players are on the second ball, it sustains the attack. And where do we find him? Again, in that position, in this inside left position. So he picks the ball now up on this side, goes past the player, and can he deliver the pass? Yes, he can, into Gakpo, and maybe doesn't quite sort his feet out. We mentioned at the first clip that setup of Liverpool. Again, finds himself the inside left. Should he score? Yes, he should. Could he have got an assist today? Of course he could. But that was, for me, maybe the start and maybe some signs going forward that Liverpool know they've got a good player. It's just whether he can transfer what he did in Germany to the Premier League. I think that was the first sign of seeing not just a player, let's not forget, just a player for Liverpool. I said when Florian Wirtz came in, I almost seen him as a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne in terms of the Premier League. You know, getting on the ball, causing problems for the opposition. You'd actually look at his passes here against West Ham. Didn't lose possession, often very clever with the ball, but he had penetrating passes, 42 out of 45. Now, that's a lot for a player who's supposed to sort of make big passes, key passes to try and put people in. So at times you take chances. But when you look at his season comparison here, you can see the big shift there in the numbers.
If you go back to the previous graphic and the passes, what comes across? And actually what comes across from your analysis there is he's got a freedom, hasn't he, today? You know, they are all over the pitch passes within reason. The clips you highlighted, yeah, he may have been a bit deeper and starting from deep, drifted over to the left. There was a bit more of a freedom for him today. Would that be fair?
Yeah, but I think it's more about getting him in his role where he's best suited. Now, we can talk about the knock-on effects with other players there, because I don't think when you think about the makeup of the squad, it's probably not really that well balanced. But we've spoken about Florian Wirtz being a number 10, but predominantly he likes the inside left channel. I mentioned Kevin De Bruyne before. When you think of Kevin De Bruyne, where do you think of him? You think of the inside right position. Yeah. You always picture him on the ball in that position. That's where Florian Wirtz needs to play. At times, I actually thought he was going to play wide right today and then come in from the side, as he has done in a few games when he's replaced Mo Salah on that right. But this was better. This is exactly where they want him on the pitch, and this is where, as I said, he's at his best, and that's why today was his best Liverpool performance by far. He's had other good performances, but mainly in Europe. In the Premier League, that was the best we've seen so far. And
it was also a good day for Alexander Isak in the sense that he got his Premier League account up and running for Liverpool.
Yeah. And what we're looking at here is, if we can get it up.
I would argue that Florian Wirtz was more consistent than the touchscreen, really.
Exactly.
Today. Let's see if it works here.
So, what I would say is what's happened here has never happened before under Arne Slot when he's Liverpool manager. I don't think Arne Slot has ever asked his right back to go to left wing to take a long throw.
Have you become a bigger fan of long throws today?
I mean, throughout this season, I've been very unhappy with long throws. Today, I've changed my tune a little bit. But we've seen this a lot. And again, I think what it shows is, even for a team like Liverpool, who are the champions, when you see everybody else doing something, you think, well, why aren't we doing it? Arne Slot's never done that before. But maybe the way the Premier League's gone, he's thought, well, OK, everyone else is doing it, I'm going to do it. Now, I just want to look at the position initially of Isak. So he's there, he's in there, not up against defenders, don't forget. So Liverpool have brought the centre-backs up. So they're getting looked after by the West Ham defenders. Let's not forget as well that every West Ham player is back in the box.
Yeah.
This is something to remember as well. So Isak's not up against the defender. He's almost free. He's not going to go for the first ball. He then turns, they clear it out West Ham, and it comes to the edge of the box.
So it comes to Wirtz.
Yeah, it comes to Wirtz, who does really well. There. But I just want to slow it down now. And as this ball comes into Isak, as he's about to get something on it, and we've just mentioned that every West Ham player is back. I think Nuno, looking back at this goal and considering I've got all 11 men basically back in the box beside Bowen on the edge. If you'd have said to him, the space in there for Alexander Isak would be like that. Let's just forget this, honest to God.
There was meant to be a square there, so I get that, right.
Yeah. So, to allow that much space when you've got 11 men back behind the ball, he'll be really upset with that, of course. But again, we go back to Wirtz here, manipulating the ball, finds a clever pass into Gakpo. Gakpo, to be fair, his pass is just putting it into an...
Hopeful.
Yes, but the finish from Isak is top draw in terms of the actual connection with the ball, and that's the only place he could find that bottom corner.
So it's all positive, isn't it? And they go and play Liverpool. Liverpool play Sunderland on Wednesday. They go to Leeds on Saturday. But even pre-match, with leaving Salah on the bench, the questions are to Slot. Who are you leaving? Why are you leaving them out? And because of the nature of this squad, those questions are going to be consistently asked, aren't they?
Yeah. Now, the makeup of the squad is not right, really. And the best way to explain that is we're all delighted tonight from a Liverpool point of view in that, OK, Florian Wirtz looks like the Florian Wirtz we expect. OK, he's cost a lot of money. He looks the real deal. He's in his position now. Isak's got his first goal. OK, that's Isak up and running now. But you think of the knock-on effect of that. How does Florian Wirtz affect Dominic Szoboszlai, who's been Liverpool's best player this season?
Because at times he was pushed out.
Exactly. And then you've got the situation where Isak scored, he's up and running. But how does that affect Ekitike? who's been Liverpool's best signing this season. So again, you go back to the makeup of the squad, and Liverpool, by leaving out Mo Salah today, didn't really necessarily play with a real right winger. Now, again, that's fine. Liverpool did really well. You get Szoboszlai inside. But it's not perfect for Joe Gomez going forward. Do you understand? So there's a knock-on effect with certain players playing well and what it does to other people. But right now, that'll be the last thing on the manager's mind. He'll just be relieved that he's got 3 points, and Liverpool in a really good position now to go on and get 9 points out of 9 this week.
Right. Should we turn this on and turn it off again?
Yeah, we'll have a go.
This break?
Just turn it... You know what we do at home with the Sky?
Yeah.
Just turn it off at the back and turn it back on. It always works.
Right, I'll try and find the plug. Whilst
Does it feel like a weight off your shoulders, that first Premier League goal now?
Yeah, of course. I'm aware that, you know, it's been a long time coming, and I've been trying to get back to my best form, and you know, I'm still on the way, but I'm happy to have that goal.
Is it something that has been weighing on you, and do you feel almost a release now that could be you up and running, that you have one on the board?
I think it's a mix. Of course, the most important, the best feeling today is that we win the game. That's the best way to get a good spirit within the group, and that's helpful for the individual as well. But yeah, of course, I'm a striker, so scoring goals will always help me.
And of course, as Arne Slot was telling me even last week, that he was miles off playing football on the day he signed, but he'd gone over 6 hours in the Premier League for his new club with that big price tag without scoring a goal. So how big is that for him today?
It's certainly big, huge for a striker. You know, when it doesn't score, he's never happy. So, and also considering what is going on at Liverpool, the pressure that builds on you is even bigger. Also, all the controversy behind the movement, and they certainly didn't help his case. And obviously, if, you know, today's goal will help a lot. It will ease the situation.
Honestly, Steve, I think that he'll have a big sigh of relief on the coach back up to Liverpool and getting that goal. And you know what? It's a beautiful goal, beautiful finish. You're just hoping that Liverpool can find it back, find their cohesion back, because he is a top striker, and you could tell with the way he took the chance. You know, he's very nonchalant. How he took the chance, and you know, somebody that, you know, the way he acted in the summer, didn't make too many friends, but if he's going to continue to score goals like this and get Liverpool back to where they were as champions, when you look at it from this angle, that's precision. You know, is he going to get them back to there? Then he's going to need to be finishing like he has been finishing, like we've seen, and finishes like that.
Lovely finish.
No, absolutely. It was the reaction on a very good striker. Quick on the feet and also very precise. It wasn't easy to put the ball where
nice
he put
contact.
it. Yeah,
Because he's joined the club far from fit, and seen in the last 7 or 8 games in a very difficult spell.
It is a difficult spell, but I think he brought it on himself. I think that whatever's going to happen with Newcastle, you stay, you train through the pre-season, you hope that the agents and the clubs can sort it out, but you train, you make yourself fit, you make yourself available. So when he goes to Liverpool, they don't have to leave him out, so then the pressure builds, especially look what Liverpool's happening to Liverpool. He could have been fit, ready to go, maybe scored goals like Ekatike to take Liverpool out of this, but he wasn't, because he refused to train. So he probably lost a lot of friends doing that, but then they know that he's capable of scoring goals like this, and, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how many people he can pull back.
Certainly is. Well, of course, after 9 defeats in 12 games in all competitions going into this game against West Ham, Liverpool's worst run, incidentally, since 1953, Arne Slot made a huge call today, and that was, for the first time in 54 Premier League games, not to start Mo Salah.
Every time when we play a game, when I don't play Florian Wirtz, when I don't play Alexander Isak, when I don't play Koitike, when I don't play Mo Salah, it's about that, which is normal because they're all outstanding players, and Mo has had an unbelievable career here at this club and will have a very good future at this club because he's such a special player. 4 games in 10 days with only 14 to 15 outfield players available.
Is the most important thing.
And it seems strange, because if you'd said back in August, especially with the way we're winning games, right, when they win at West Ham 2-0 in November, that's going to be massive for Liverpool. Everyone was like, what on earth are you on about? But it was massive for Liverpool today to stop the rot.
It was, because if they didn't, then you know, they're starting to go into what's the manager, are we looking for a new manager, what's going on? We got, you know, are we going to sell Salah, what's going on? Everything starts to to seep out, you know what I mean? And those are the questions that come. So they will look back. Hopefully it will be something that Liverpool can use as in respect to the springboard going forward, Steve. But it's a massive result for Liverpool. You know, it's a really big result for Liverpool.
To get the clean sheet, righty, because as we've seen, when they've gone behind, it's been so easy to play against and leaking goals recently.
Yeah, and that's something that we didn't see last season, even the season, but I can't remember ever seeing that with Liverpool. But for some reason this season it's not working out as well as they'd like it to. But that win will probably help them to get the confidence to go again. But, you know, a team, if I'm going to go and play against Liverpool now, whoever, I'd still fancy myself. You have to put Liverpool in a position, Gianfranco, where they have to prove that they can do it to you. You don't make it easy for them, because that's where they're struggling at the moment. Don't make it easy for them. Like Paqueta getting sent off, it kind of makes it easy for them. Don't make it easy for Liverpool.
I must ask you, as a creative player, about Florian Wirtz. Put back in today after injury, got the Man of the Match award, had a hand in the build-up there to Isak's goal. Is he a player you've obviously seen in Europe, but eventually you think will be a success in the Premier League?
Well, the quality of the player is not in doubt, because we all know what he can do. We saw his abilities, and I don't think it's a problem of the player. I think it's the whole Liverpool that is gone in a moment of unsettlement. And obviously, it happens. It happens to me many years ago when I moved from Naples to Parma. I got to Parma, they were doing fantastically well. I got into the team, and I was scoring, but the team was bad. Yeah. And all the responsibility was me, because I was the new player. I think it's a similar situation. The value of the players is not in doubt. Liverpool is going through a difficult situation. When everybody is gonna settle, I think he's going to show the value of his players. It's not that he's responsible for what everything is happening at Liverpool.
It's unfortunate for him in a minute. Because, like, for him to come to the Premier League, it's massive, it's big, it's worldwide news, he's come for a lot of money. And like Gianfranco said, his ability is not in doubt. But then you have to try and come in and you have to get your feet, you have to find your feet. And obviously, if it was a Liverpool of last season, it comes in and he slips in brilliantly. But then ideally you want him to come into a winning team. They were, but unfortunately at the moment they can't quite get their self going.
Yeah, I think Liverpool, you were saying, today they scored 2 goals, and that is very important. But I think it's more important that they didn't concede. Because Liverpool has always been a team, even with Klopp, they score many goals all the time. But what is the anomaly is not that, is that they are conceding too much. And this is something that not even Liverpool, with all his ability and his strength going forward, can afford.
Now, Liverpool won the game in an emotional atmosphere at London Stadium, because West Ham announced prior to kick-off the death of the man they call Mr. West Ham, Billy Bonds, who has passed away aged 79. Played more games for the club than anybody else, just one shy of 800. These are the tributes paid to him before kick-off, and his number 4 shirt laid by the current West Ham captain, Jared Bowen, player and, of course, manager and member of the backroom staff as well. And, of course, at the stadium, a stand is named after Billy Bonds as well. And all our thoughts are with Billy's family and, of course, those West Ham and football fans that loved him so much. And, of course, Gianfranco, you're a former West Ham manager. You know all about the legacy of Billy Bonds, and you met him many times.
Yeah, I came across a few times with him when I was the coach at West Ham. Very nice person, a gentleman. And, well, we are all very saddened for what happened to him, and our thoughts are with the family. Honestly, he came across, you know, he played in a different time to me, but it struck me how kind he was, how encouraging he was to me also, because it wasn't a great time when I met him for me as a manager there. But he was kind, and I really was very happy with that.
Yeah, you just missed each other as players, but you did play a few times against Billy Bonds' teams when he was West Ham manager.
Yeah. You know, he was, because my brother's a West Ham fan, through our dear friend John Denmark. My brother supported West Ham. Billy Bonds was the name that was always mentioned, obviously Bobby Moore before him. But, like, Billy Bonds came and kind of took over the mantle of our Bobby Moore was, and how he's a gentleman, plays fair, played hard, you know what I mean, a leader, proper leader. He was that guy. And, you know, like I say, you know, just to meet him a couple of times, like I've met him, and like Gianfranco said, he's a gentleman, he's a wonderful guy. He epitomises everything how a professional should be and how they should act. And you know what I mean? It's a sad loss, and again, condolences to his family.
Yeah, captain the sides of the 2 FA Cups and 799 appearances for one club. It's truly remarkable, isn't it?
He's one of those players of the other times, you know, when they are tied to one club and they are so loyal. It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a proper word. Beautiful.
We